The trouble began in 2011 in the Syrian city of Jera. Locals took to the streets to protest after 15 schoolchildren were arrested and reportedly tortured for writing anti-government graffiti on a wall. Protests began with the calling for the release of the children, democracy, and greater freedom for people in the country. The government opened fire on the protesters, killing 4 people. The next day, they shot the mourners at the victim's funeral, killing another person. As soon as the news spread, people demanded that President al-Assad resign. The president refused to step down, and a civil war began. In the middle of all the chaos, an extremist group called ISIS began to take over large areas of the country. They terrorized civilians and have brought only death and destruction. Many Syrian civilians are now trying to flee from the civil war, but the majority of the world refuses to help. Hysteria has many people believing that Muslims are terrorists. The congressional Republicans even voted on making it more difficult for refugees from Syria and Iraq to come to the United States, claiming that they don't want another Paris incident to occur. Many people believe that all Muslims are terrorists. People believing that every Muslim is a terrorist is exactly what terrorists want you to believe. However, we cannot refuse Syrian refugees assistance that they are morally entitled to. If we don't help these people fleeing from death and destruction, we will regret it for the rest of our history. If we can't even lend a hand to the children suffering because of the civil war, then are we really human? We shouldn't assume that every Muslim is a terrorist. In fact, Muslims themselves are the ones being tormented by terrorists. Every day, Syrian civilians face public executions, destruction of property, and kidnapping of their family members. One solution would be for more countries to open up refugee camps and help out the Syrians. Right now, about 95% of refugees are being taken care of by neighboring countries. We need to be willing to see past the stereotypes and allow more refugees to enter and settle here in the United States. If every country were to allow more refugees in, then less people would be suffering in the world. You don't need a reason to help people. There are an estimated 13.5 million Syrian refugees, and America has only taken in about 76,000. Do Americans want to be remembered as the people who turned their backs on the Syrian refugees, or as the heroes that saved the Syrians from the terrorists?